Good evening. Welcome to Investigator News, and this I'm Ellie Holder, and this is Investigator News, World News. And the last hour, folks, boy, I'm having some really hard times with internet, and uh, I went out, and my picture went out, my sound went out. I was getting warnings that I was hit with a virus, so I went with, I don't know, I think it was like, to me, it was a half hour of dead space. Everybody could see me, the chat was going, but I was getting hit with a virus. So, hello to Lee and William. Boy, William, this is getting weird. I'm like in the twilight zone. Uh, but we got to move on with the news, and Russia's moving nuclear weapons to Belarus. This is according to the president. This has been going on since Tuesday. Some short range nuclear weapons to Belarus to move Polish President Duda said could change the NATO alliance in the region. The move, news of the move came the day after the U.S. Embassy in Belarus was issued to for all American citizens to leave immediately. Then it was all in the cities they were putting these um, launchers in, and they were moving out everybody. And they said as of today, they're still trying to get residents to go ahead and leave so they can be ready. And once they're ready, they say, they are waiting for the command of Putin. I don't know if I like that. What about McCarthy? He's, where's McCarthy, folks? Have you seen him on any of the social media, the news, or anything? But he says he'll move on with this impeachment next month if Biden doesn't comply with the demands. Well, they haven't. The time ran out Monday, and they didn't send anything, so they're giving a new date tomorrow. So by the end of this week, they have to have all the documents sent to Comer, Grassy, and a few others. President Peters, he's sitting in the hot seat, and if we don't start calling him by Peters, folks, it's not going to go viral. We got to remind him what he just did, and President Peters works. And I've talked to William about this, but folks, it's 50-50, 50-50, 50-50. I really think it's time for a split. Um, and I hate to say that. I hate to go against uh, everything we have stood for. But when we can't get a party to quit being communist, and we don't want communist rule, uh, the last poll that was read, um, of people that wanted communism in the country. This is people that wanted it. Uh, 2%. But they're willing to accept socialism into the country. They did a poll, and I looked into it. And the poll, what was asked, how many people would be considering socialism, which that's what this administration brought in. It was 80% wanted it because what did they want it for? Is socialized medicine. That was it. Well, we got that with Obama, folks. Quit thinking there's more. What you get with socialism is communism, and that's what they've moved in. So when we see McCarthy, or what about the rest of them? Jim Jordan, what are they doing? What is Grassy doing? I'm so tired of hearing we're going to do, we're going to do. There's going to be a resolution. There's going to be a wake up, Republicans, wake up. And you know what? With the debate last night, I listened. I listened to all of them. It's a process we have to go through. Let's let the voters decide, folks. Let's just let the voters decide who they want. Quit. Look at what they said on ABC, NBC, and all them. Oh, it was stupid. It was dumb. What are they going to put? What are they going to put out? Uh, Biden in the basement, and with as he refuses to debate. Where does that leave Kennedy? Where does it leave the other lady that I can't even remember what her name is? That's just joined the Democrat Party. What are they going to be? Oh, it's going to be praised. It's going to be Joe Biden did a wonderful job from uh, a home with a speech written for him by who? Obama. Now I've heard. I'm Michelle. Do we know? We're going to eat her up on this because we need to know. And the book that came out with Obama that said he was gay, really? So who's Michelle? Michael is was it Michelle? She was born a girl, but then Joan Rivers and a few, and it's not just Joan Rivers. There's a few others that seen things. So is this a transgender that they want to push to be accepted? I don't know. But I've looked into it and everything points to, and I could tell you some horrible things I found out of WikiLeaks with Assange. But if I say anything, oh boy, I'm looking at it. Look what they did to me in my last show. I was gone for what 5 minutes, it seemed like that long. It seemed like a half hour to me, where my screen was black. I was having little twirly things. Everybody in chat is fine. They're seeing me just fine, but I'm looking at viruses. But I'm not going to quit because I'm about truth and news. That's it. So, if McCarthy says he's going to move on with the impeachment, good for him. He better do it. He better do this. He was the one that said, I'm going to jump in, I'm going to change things. Well, by golly, change things. Because it's not just our country. I have um, viewers from around the world, every little country you could possibly think of, even Papua New Guinea. They're saying, when are they going to help us? When are you going to help us? Not destroy us, not let China come in and take everything that we have. And I have no answers for them. I don't, I call senators, I call congressmen, and I say, when are you going to do something? We need to stop this whole new uh, new world order. It's that's what needs to be stopped because until we do, we're only going to see. Look at Venezuela and even um, Bernie Sanders said, "Hey, let's be like Venezuela." They want folks. Now, get this. They want everybody to make the same wage, so it's equal. It's a democracy that way. What is a democracy? And you hear it all the time. You hear it so much on the social media. It's a democracy. A democracy in their eyes is socialism leading to communism. And when we see world leaders saying they can't do this, and when we look at Venezuela, now what's in Venezuela, folks? Now in Venezuela, we are looking at doctors that were making $10 an hour or maybe a little more. But that's equal. That's democracy. That's equality. And look at the state of Venezuela. If we bring that in, now can you imagine a doctor that makes $10 an hour with someone that works at McDonald's? That's equal. That's equality. That's democracy. Huh. When it's thrown in your face, when it's thrown in your face, how do you fight that? Yeah. When we look at the timeline with, and I could go over this and over this and over this until everybody's blue in the face. Not me, everybody else, of what he did with Burisma, what he did with China. You got, I probably did away with my Burisma shows because I had to. YouTube, and all of them were going back in my shows, and because I said this or that, they took them out. Uh, that's not freedom of speech. But when we look at Burisma, folks, this was a kid that knew nothing about business. Just like me, I knew nothing about journalism. I knew nothing about doing a show like this. I had I had to register in a college and take journalism and to take an editor course, uh, social economics, constitution, um, and I've been on for 4, maybe 5 years now, and the first two was just classes to try to figure out what I was doing for the show, and then I had to take classes for to promote myself. And I said, I'm just going to be me. Ellie's just Ellie. I could go with all the stuff and put all the stuff all over my screen and blinking subscribe and throw a thing up over here like and I don't want that mess on my screen. No, why do you think I put the bears at the end, the wildlife at the end? To make you feel good. We're not lost, folks. We're just been duped. When you get screwed over and you've been duped, and do you walk away? That's what we've done. We've walked away. And when we look at what Joe Biden, what Hunter Biden, he didn't know what he was doing. Did he take classes? Did he go to college? Did he learn about business? Did he learn about gas and oil? No, he didn't. Why? Because they learned from the Clintons, Obama, and Bushes administrations that you create foundations and you put money here and you put money there and you over here and over there and over there. And why do you think when William Barr went to Cyprus, he seen what they were doing? What did he do? He just shut the bank down. That was it and walked away. He said, "Oh, I'm going to resign." Why? Because he's the cleanup man. I say that a lot, and my viewers know that I call him the cleanup man from the Clinton administration and the Bush administration. Let's start calling these guys out. If you don't know about them, how are you supposed to fight your enemy if you don't know who they are? That's why I'm bringing Lee on the show. Because I bring Lee on the show, we're going to start busting these people for what they've been doing. Because if you don't know your enemy, how do you fight them? And so what do? When they can't dupe us, they find loopholes. A Democrat senator fabricated a loophole to earn 125 grand over the limit. His nonprofit under investigation. See, that's what they're doing. This is Democrat Senator Raphael Warnock of Georgia earned more outside the income than Senate rules allowed. They caught him. Who's catching these guys? Well, it says the FBI and the DOJ. He was earning 155,000 from Ebenezer Baptist Church in Atlanta. Now, do you think they're going to hit the church? Probably. It's these foundations. Now, when Hillary Clinton got in with the 33,000 emails, what did they do? They shut down the Clinton Foundation. Well, it was kind of late because they paid for Hillary's wedding out of it. I'm sorry, Chelsea's wedding. I mean, they're not rich enough, SOROS, I think nephew or son that got married at Chelsea. They didn't have the money to pay for the wedding. Why did they have to siphon out of the foundation? Because that's their money. And from the Clinton Foundation, and then what are you looking at when it comes to big pharma? Then they had William Jefferson Clinton Foundation that did AIDS and big pharma. They hide it in the foundations, and they're finding the. I'm thinking with the Biden family or Peters family or Warren, it'd be Warren, I guess is their other name. They got three names: Biden, Peters, and Warren. It depends on who they are for the day. Oh, I'm going to be Joe Peters or whatever, Robert Peters, and I'm going to go to China and I'm going to make all this money. And instead of a foundation now, they're putting into a name. Why? Because they found out the foundations can be shut down and that money just disappears. And then they're broke. Well, it didn't happen with Obama. It didn't happen with Hillary. And guess what? Obama made all these foundations without even registering them with the IRS. And this is since 2010. So 2010 to 2023. He hasn't filed taxes on his foundations. How much money is he hiding? The Clintons do the same thing. But, when you do that, there's statute of limitations. They run out after 5 years. So anything he did in 2010, oh well, he got away with it. 2015, oh, he got away with it. 2020, oh, he got away with it. And he's out of office. He's got the money. Do you feel duped yet? Is there a reckoning happening in this country when we're seeing? I listened to a young gentleman with podcast, and he said young African Americans are sick of this. African Americans are sick of the crime. They can't get this. If their kid goes to a school a mile away, they have to go pick their kid up and risk a drive-by shooting in their car. Their kids can't walk home, not even a block. I have a school that's right there. On my street, the house is across the street. Behind it is the playground. And I watch kids walk home every day, and I think about it. Really? These thugs are going to shoot these kids happily walking home? Or if I have people pull in my driveway to turn around. Is that what they're shooting? But what do they want us to pay attention to? Warthog, 155,000 that he took. That's important. But when we don't look at what's going on in the state of our nation, we got issues. And who's going to save us? Will Trump save us? Will Democrats save us? I've always said it's the plan, not the man, folks. You know what? It would be a great ticket is DeSantis as president and Trump as vice. Everybody's like, oh, no, no, no. We got to have Trump. No, get over Trump. You know what they're going to do if he goes in office? They will look, they've probably got 50 more lawsuits against him. give it a rest. If we don't make him president and we go for one of the others and put him in as vice, we're going to have a very strong country. Don't just settle for this. Don't settle for the next thing they're doing. Oh, guess what? They're going to remask us. They're going to lock us down. You going to fall for that again? What did they admit to when it finally everything came out on the pandemic? They said, "Oh, we're sorry. It was just the flu for the year." Did you catch that one? The flu for the year? Really? Look what you just did to our country. And you want to call it the flu for the year? Was it strange to you? Was it strange, folks, that you didn't have to go get the flu shot? 2019, 2020, 2021. What happened? And you know why I know this is because I fight my grandkids having to get this every year before they get into school. It wasn't done. No, they just let them in. What about the year before? Whoa, 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 wait a minute. And this is what I hit the principals up with. Wait, didn't you make my grandkid do this last year, or he couldn't go to school, or she couldn't go to school? Oh, yeah, but this year it's different. What's different? Where's the flu shot for this year? You guys ask that? Ask your pharmacist, and they're going to go, we don't know. What happened to that? Now it's pandemics. Now, colleges are now having to wear masks. Government businesses are having to wear masks. Are you going to mask up again? You going to fall for this? I want proof. I want data. I don't want, oh, guess what? It's back. What's back? What is back? What is this time? We know everything, the pandemic is null and void. So now what do we got? Is it measles, mumps? Is it TB? Is it what the hell is it, folks? Don't we have the right to know what the pandemic is going to be? They did what this C thing, and I can't say the name. Everybody knows COV, thing. And then we had a variant, another variant, and this and that, and oh, get all these, and get this and this and this, and you'll be okay, and you'll be immune. Well, oops. Well, now you got it again. I'm sorry. Really? So now they're going to redo it. How convenient. Oh, we might have to send in our ballots again for, I don't know. Is it going to be a clean piece of paper again that goes through? How do you get this into an envelope that big without making a mark? And that's being looked at. And Jim Jordon is going after Fannie Willis for this. Prove it. Prove it. Oh, our election was perfect. Boy, I'm going to get a strike out of this show. It was perfect. And then we had Mr. Green go in and say, wait a minute, I went to vote, and there was somebody else that voted. Now, get this. There was a congressman, and he wants to stay anonymous, that went in and he went to vote and found out he already voted 32 times. I'm not going to say where. It's got to stop. It's got to stop. 50-50 in this country. Do we separate, or do we keep putting up with senators suckering money? It's not just senators. It's not just congressmen. They all are look at Maxine Waters. How'd she become rich and a millionaire? Nancy Pelosi. Biden, millions and billions. Billions. As he licks his ice cream and wants to do away with cows and milk. Is that real milk he's licking? They have dinners at the White House with steak and lobster. Really? As they do away with the meat and tell us to eat bugs. Oh, I'm way off today, folks, on the news. Everybody says, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? You got to get these old guys out of office, folks. We have had so many, and not to put Grassy down or a few of them, Mitch McConnell's got to go. Did you see him staring? He's old. Biden's old. They're all, Nancy Pelosi's old. They're all in their 70s and 80s. Why are we keeping them around? Look at Nadler. Nadler doesn't even know where he's at half the time. And I'm talking, there's Democrats, but it's the same with the Republicans. If we don't bring in the newer politicians, we're going to be corrupted to the point of a dictatorship and let China take over our country. We can't have a president that has sold us out to China. Yeah, they're going to find dirt on everybody. And whether it's a Democrat, Republican, there's dirt on all of them. Guess Nancy, how come they haven't exposed Nancy Pelosi for showing up drunk at least twice a week for the 40 years that she's been in office? She's a lush. What about Dianne Feinstein and Nancy Pelosi that win with 110% of the vote? How do you win 110%? And how do you keep showing up at work not knowing where you are or what to say? Oh, we'll just read the speech, they say. It is very important that it's time that we push bringing in the younger generation. And then, what about the squad? Everybody says, well, we got the squad. And then the squad gets mad because their numbers aren't as high as Biden's. Are you upset about that? That they're not getting big numbers? Well, it's unfathomable, they say. Would you find this anti-American? Um, that's what they're saying. This is un-American because their numbers are low. How about just get real and do your job? And so now is the squad a failure? Well, what have they been wanting all along? The Green New Deal. And not only that, but to take Israel down. Well, both of them aren't working. So now we're looking at a younger generation that wants the new Green Deal and think that the planet is burning up. Well, what if we go into a mini ice age? I seen 33 on my phone today and I thought, yeah, here we go. It's 33 degrees outside and we're going into a mini ice age. And I step outside and it's hot as hell. I'm like, yeah, they got this all messed up. And even my granddaughter came over and she said, I looked at the weather bug and it said 31 degrees since this morning. I said, oh, I know. Are you going to fall for it if that's what they say? If it says 33 degrees, folks, is that what it is? What if the media comes out and says, oh, yeah, even though it's 100 degrees out, hey, folks, it's only 33 degrees. And if all the media say it all day long, are you going to believe it? You step outside and you're going to sweat and say, oh, yeah, this is 33. Just because the media says so, you're going to fall for it. That's something to think about for everything. Everything, folks. And Jim Jordon launches a probe into the Fulton County 2020 election case. He's tired. This probe that resulted in charges against Trump and 18 co-defendants. You know, they went and all got their mug shots today. Did you like it? What's the point of that? Especially when we got serial killers out there that have been in this country time after time after time. We just deport them. They've raped and killed. It's like, oh, we'll send them back to Mexico. That's their problem. And they show up again, and we don't do nothing. But oh yeah, we're going to line up all the these lawyers and Rudy Giuliani and the rest of them and say, oh, we got their mugshots. We're going to get them. And was Fulton County DA Fannie Willis working with Jack Smith? Was she communicating with the executive branch? What were any federal funds used in the investigation of for this? The platform formerly known as Twitter when he announced this probe, Jim Jordon. The state charges brought against Trump in Georgia are separate from federal indictments brought against him with the special counsel Jack Smith. Two probes involving that he allegedly mishandled classified documents. Which ones? Have they even told us which ones they are? I'd like to know what was in the garage sitting next to the Corvette. What was in that box? In fact, I want to know the box after box after box. We had a Department of Justice with two planes here in Arkansas. One of them was loaded up with nothing but boxes of paperwork and documents for the Clintons. What was in it? Anybody know about that? I did a show on it. I mean, because I was doing a show when they were loading up the planes. Furniture. They were doing furniture, antique furniture. Was that from the White House or was it from the governor's mansion when Hillary stole many artifacts and many antiques from the governor's mansion of Arkansas, as well as Martha Washington's china out of the White House? What was in the documents? What was in the documents they didn't want anybody to know about? What is in the documents in that garage? We'll never know. Why? Because it's been covered up. Why is it covered up? And I've listened to Lee the other day, and Lee said, why? Why is this happening? Who do we go to? Well, you go to the person above. Who's the person above? When you have got, and we're going to probably do a big show on this next Thursday, so I don't want to get too far into it. Who do you go to when your town is so corrupt? And then you go to the senators, the attorney general for your state, your governor, your who. And then if they're corrupt, then who do you go to? Then you go to the FBI, you go to the Department of Justice, State Department, Department of Defense. Who do you go to? And if they're all corrupt, then who do you go to? It ends. You give up. And you deal with crime and corruption in your state, in your city, with your officials, even corrupt police officers. It happens because it can. That's right. That's right. Defund the police and leave the corrupt cops in place. Wow. And then, oh yeah, that's really going to work, because then they can say, oh, they're all corrupt. We need to do what we want to do. We're going to bring in our own guys. Who are these guys? Are they the SS from Nazi Germany from World War II? Is that what we're going to be looking at? We don't know. And they're not talking. Oh boy. All right. So, now we know, I'm going to get on with, what about Mark Meadows and a few of the Trump's lawyers that wanted it moved from state to federal? Well, the judges have denied this. So Mark Meadows has got to basically submit himself. get his mug shot, and he needs to deal with where he's at in Georgia. He didn't win his appeal to move his case from state to federal. Um, Taiwan proposes 3 billion spending on new weapons as it gets a F-16 boost. The problem is they said they're getting these F-16s. They know how to fly them. Their Air Force can fly them. The problem is the ammunition. So this is what they're going to be spending. And why? Because me and William talked about this. That Taiwan is getting very leery, and we've got propaganda coming from China and Taiwan and Philippines and the rest of them over in Indonesia that China is getting very aggressive. Is it propaganda or is it real? We have to look, is this real or Memorex? But when you see Taiwan proposes 3 billion spending on new weapons, it gets their F-16 boost. Now China has basically said Taiwan is its own territory. And it has ramped up the military and political pressure of the past 3 years to assert those claims. Now, China's getting very weary of this. So is North Korea. North Korea is just itching to shoot a nuke. And they're like, okay, just tell us when, just tell us when. Do we want North Korea in that point? If you looked at, and I watched just bits and pieces of Tucker and Trump last night, uh, and he said, he was when Hillary Clinton was going over there so many times as under the State Department, he was itching. He was wiggling in his seat. He was ready. Oh yeah, Hillary, just tell me when and who. That's what I know. I don't know if that's what the FBI or anybody else knew, but that's what we were hearing in Arkansas. Because there's still people here. We have so many Chinese here in the state that we started seeing in the 80s, and we didn't know why. Until we found out about Chinagate, where the Clintons sold nuclear weapons to China. And then we went over and showed them how to do it. That's Chinagate, folks. Why wasn't that part of the impeachment? So now Taiwan is, they just need the they have the weapons, they need the ammunition, and they're going to get it. They said Wednesday, the United States approved 500 million sale to Taiwan of infrared search and track systems. This is for the F-16 fighters. So they gave them the planes and they said, oh, wait a minute now, we still need to give you the search and track systems for it. Why didn't that come with it? Why? Because Taiwan is smart. And Taiwan said, no, 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 folks. If you're going to give us the F-16s, we're going to need enough ammunition to shoot from the F-16s, but we need the tracking systems. Why did you leave that out? Why? That's my question. Ellie's the when, where, why, and how. So why did they leave it out? Shouldn't that come with the planes, William? I know William's still in here. Shouldn't all of this come with the planes? Did they just send them here? And if you need anything, sonar or weapons or anything that goes on it, yeah, you have to ask us for it. Well, isn't a plane come fully equipped with the tracking systems? That's what I thought. Come to find out, no. Minister Po Hong told Huey told reporters the search and tracking systems were the same as those used by the F-35, F-22 fighters among most advanced United States operates. They had loaded them and it went to Ukraine, but not them. And they want to know why. These will help to target J-20 stealth fighters over Taiwan Strait in the future. It will allow Taiwan to be more effective to do against China and their air activity, he added. He said they routinely denounce any foreign arms sales uh, China does to Taiwan, and they threaten them even bigger. But China, he says, is now got a giggle that the tracking systems weren't sent. Wow. I'm really, I was really shocked by that. Um, and now we are looking at Islamics. Um, you know what? They said, as this was for yesterday, they said, you know what? Kiss my feet. United States, kiss my feet. With the migrant youth surrounding, not just here, all the way to Belgium, they say. They want them to kneel. They want us to kneel now. They said they are tired of being put on hold by not only this country, but other countries that were promised that they were peaceful Muslims. A 12-year-old Jewish student was forced to kneel down and kiss the shoes of a Muslim classmate, while a 5-year-old boy was allegedly called a Jewish cockroach. The older boy's act of kissing another student's shoes under the threat of being swarmed of other boys to beat him up. It was filmed and photoed and shared on social media. One of the boys who watched was on later suspended for 5 days for assaulting the Jewish student. Belgium, Israel, United States, Dearborn, Michigan. The Muslims are fed up, folks. You kneel and you kiss their shoes. They're standing up for what they believe in. Just like, but will they last in a communist or socialist regime in the United States? No, because of the Quran. And if you're not a Christian, you're to be killed. If you're gay, you're to be killed. If you are not them, you are killed. Kiss their shoes. Kneel and kiss their shoes. It's big time in Belgium, big time in over there in the Middle East, big time in Israel, and now they're demanding it in Michigan. You're not going to hear that on the social media, folks. You're not going to hear this on ABC. Did you hear it on CBS? Did you hear that this morning that Dearborn, Michigan, they want to bring in the kneel and kiss the feet of Muslim because you're a Christian? Did you hear that? No. We know we mentioned it that BRICS um, going on right now. They're going to increase the oil. Are they going to drop the price? They don't know, but they're going to increase it to where Saudi and Russia and China will control the flow, and they'll have the most oil ever, they say. Now, Jinping, there's rumors he did walk away. He walked out of BRICS and was done because of the United States. Because the United States is trying to break up BRICS. But think about this, folks. 47 countries. No, they say this is an anti-NATO thing. How many countries are in NATO? BRICS has got 47. And they say they're going to devalue and do away with the American dollar and bring in China dollar, China currency. Are you willing to do this yet? Where is McCarthy on this? Where's Mitch McConnell? Where's our president to stop this? So I said they're weakened. They're becoming very weak, and these other countries see this. The thing is me and William pointed this out. We have a very strong military, and I think the military is acting on its own because we're not backing down as far as militaristic. We're strong. But when it comes to what happens in our country, we're very weak. This president has been weakened. And I had even a show on that at the beginning of the week about the weakening of the president. Well, if he's weak, they're weak, we're strong. Let's go get them, folks. And how do we go get them? We fight the procedures, the policies, everything that they put forth to us. Just like the moms that are considered terrorists now. Really? Parents and moms are terrorists. Wow. Now we've seen Yevgeny. They're saying that there could have been a bomb in the wine. We're going to hear all kinds of stuff. Did Putin kill him? Did Ukraine kill him? Zelensky kill him? Or did the United States? Was it NATO? He had a target on his back, folks. Don't just jump in there because NBC says, "Oh, Putin did it." Putin and China, Putin and Russia does everything. Russia, Russia, Russia. Everything that happens, it's Russia. What about blaming China for once? What about blaming maybe mercenaries in Belarus? What about his own guys that didn't like him? We don't know. This human trafficking is the other thing. That's the next story. This was out of Breitbart. They found a place that was housing close to 100 kids under the age of 13, 7 to 13, that were being sex trafficked. They saved them. They went to Mayorkas and said, look at what's going on. He says, well, you're going to have that. They track these kids from the border, and when they separate them from the parents? And the parents go to these facilities saying, and they're usually Walmart facilities, remember? Because we put them all in Walmart stores. And, this is the children and moms. And the moms go and say, okay, where's my kid? I don't know. They have no clue. When the actual moms that came from Venezuela or South America or Mexico, and they go and they're separated at the border, and they go to find their 3 and 4 and 5-year-olds or 10-year-olds, they don't know where they're at. That's wow. And then, of course, say, look at what Abbott did. Look at what Abbott did. He sent a bus full of kids to the border when the flooding happened. Okay, there was 5. Okay. Cartels shipped 50, 50 into LA, San Diego's during that flood. When it was hot, over 100 degrees, they sent hundreds of kids across the border, no water, no place to go, and sitting in the heat. And when you look into into um, um, human services on the border and border patrol, hundreds of kids with heat stroke that they're dealing with and putting in the hospital for heat stroke because the cartel trying to quickly shift them through into the heat, into the storms, into the hurricane. It don't matter. It's all about the money. 32,000 veterans have VA disability claims decision delayed. Why? They got hacked. Oh, and this was quite a few months ago. I think I did a story on this. There's a glitch. They're receiving letters this month notifying them that disability claims submitted through the VA website weren't processed. Oh, and how far does this go back? Well, I had to go to their site and I had to take a look. They said the error dated back to 2018. Veterans, if you filed a claim from 2018 until now, resubmit it. Because you know what? You're going to get denied. Why? Because it got hacked. They basically told military.com Monday that the letters were going to all veterans impacted by the issue, but they can't get to all of them. They need the media to be able to spread the word. Oh, I don't think I heard CNN say anything about this. It's a technical issue that resulted in the claims not being automatically routed for processing. Really? So, did you get denied, folks, in 2018, 19, 2020? Did you get denied? Well, did you know they got hacked? Did they tell you you had to reapply? Hmm. William, what do you think? I mean, I had to file for Social Security for my disabilities, and I got turned down the first time. The second time I went ahead and they accepted it. Uh, but what if I wouldn't have known? Then the second time, and they only allow three times, and after the third time, you're SOL. How many times do you apply for veterans before they say SOL? You know, and between 18 and 23, that's 5 years, folks. And I wonder about my friend Ed, the veteran that applies for a lot of help through the Veterans Administration. Was he turned down for benefits because of this glitch? They say it's a glitch, and others say it's a hack. Others say it was inexperienced workers. Get an attorney, yeah, but you can't really. A lot of people can't afford an attorney, though, William. And they're saying that they're expecting the media to put this out so that the veterans know. I searched today for over an hour to find something on the veterans that said, you know what, we got a glitch since 2018. Come reapply. I didn't see none of that. What the hell is going on? You know, it's bad enough they kick our veterans. We've got liberals that kick our veterans. We got Antifa that spit in their face and flip them over in their wheelchairs and want to burn down their parades. But this is wrong. Why didn't the media jump on this today? Maybe tomorrow, maybe next week, and they'll say, "Oh yeah, by the way, there's a glitch in the system at the Veterans Administration. You might want to reapply." Well, many people might not want to hear this. I'm sorry, but this is stuff that we need to know about. Get a hold of your veterans and say, you know what, you need to get in there and find out what you're qualified for. Redo it, because there might be something from new policies put in place. Start calling and find out what you're qualified for. Ah, now, how many satellites, how many balloons has North Korea put over our heads? They say quite a few. They say, and now they've had a second attempt to launch a spy satellite, and it's failed. They're going to do a third one, fourth, fifth, sixth. They're going to get their spy satellite into space. And they say they're working with China because China had successfully, they say, was able to fly over and stop over our most secret bases and take pictures. And nothing was done. Oh, yes, is what Kim Jong Un says. So if his second attempt to launch a spy satellite failed, oh, yeah, he's going to vow for a third and a fourth. It's time to keep an eye on the skies, folks, when you see stuff. There could be these lights in the sky. What are the lights in the sky? Is it a spy balloon? Is it a satellite? Is it something that China and North Korea, Russia, even Iran is looking at our country to find out where our military bases are? It's not just about our silos. It's where our bases are. And once they can get a good look, and before don't enter our space. Now they can fly anything they want over this country, and they can take a good look at where our bases are at. Isn't it time that we start jamming? William, I thought we jammed this stuff, and come to find out with this uh, North Korea satellite, they're saying, "Oh, goody, we get to go over and we get to spy, and nothing's going to happen." And why? Because China did it. That to me, that's kind of scary, folks. Definitely kind of scary. So, anyway, I tried to keep this right about an hour, and I may have missed a few things. Um, and I may have got long winded, and I do apologize for the last show. Boy, I don't know what happened. I'm thinking something's wrong. Um, uh, and I think something's wrong because I'm saying the wrong things here at Investigator News. And they don't want me to say things to you guys. But you know what? I'm going to tell the truth because we're the truth in news. So anyway, I may have lost a few and got long-winded. They said, I ain't going to listen to Ellie go on and on and on. Maybe they'll come back and take a listen. But share this show. This show is so important, folks, because I'd have William, on Monday say something about how this show is so important to everybody because eventually they're going to take me out like Alex Jones. They're going to cut me. They're going to come to my house. I wouldn't be surprised if the FBI didn't raid my office. But, the only problem is it's here. I don't keep paperwork. And they're going to be very disappointed to find out there's nothing in my office that's going to lead them to the people that I get my information from. And, I counted up today. I have 22 sources around the globe that let me know what's going on. They email me, they text me, they secretly talk to me and other sites. to give me information. And it's overwhelming sometimes. But you know, when it's about the news, my dad taught me one thing: don't let communists come to this country. And I vowed and I promised him that as I got older, I wouldn't allow this and I would expose those that want this in our country. And he's the one that told me about World War I and World War II and what they were trying to do to us. And he said, they're bringing communists in. Stop them. Tell them the truth. All right, folks, subscribe, hit that like button. Um, and you know the bell. Ring that bell, the thumbs up. And come on back tomorrow. It's Friday. Friday will be trivia. Come, William, hopefully you whoop their butts tomorrow. Karen's kind of, I don't know. Karen's been winning a lot. It's time to take her pencil away and her paper. Take her pencil and paper and her Google away. All right. With that, folks, come on back tomorrow. Subscribe and share. Share with family. Share with people in line at the grocery store. Tell everybody about Investigator News. With that, we'll see you all tomorrow. And God bless.